just thought I'd talk a little bit about my story, about, you know, how I got here and stuff like that, because I think a few of you might find it interesting, might find it useful to know where I've come from, because that's a big part of it made me who I am. So I won't tell you the whole thing. I'll just tell you a bit now and then like a bit later, because otherwise we could be here a while. But I had a really great childhood. I had friends, I was confident, it was all great. And then I went to high school. The friends I had turned against me, they turned everyone else against me. I spent the whole of the first year of high school with no friends and getting bullied by what felt like the whole year. It wasn't the whole year, but that's what it felt like. It felt like the whole of the entire year was against me, and the entire school, for that matter. That's what it felt like, that I was the odd one out, that nobody cared, and in year 2 I met a couple of friends and it was all good, but I still got bullied. I got bullied by other people, the people that had bullied me throughout the first year, basically. And I did that. And you know, after a while of people telling you things and saying, you're fat, you're ugly, why is your sister prettier than you? Telling me my nose looked like a pig nose. There was a few just really silly things, you know. But I took them to heart, and I took them to heart big time. I never told my family. I became more and more of a recluse. I didn't want to be around people. I was scared of going out. And as well as around that time, my body was changing, and I was scared of the changes in my body. I didn't want my body to go from being a child to an adult. You know, I was scared of that, because I thought that when my body changed that I'd get more people looking at me and they'd have more reason to bully me, you know. But it was that bullying that it made me really depressed and really anxious. I'd lived with it for years before I told my parents, you know. And I'd lived with it for years before I told my parents. And it was sorted after I told them. It was sorted. But that wasn't the end. It was, the bullying may have stopped, but I also had to leave school. I was going through, I'd spent most of from 12 to 17, I spent appointments at the hospital, backward and forward. I'd had braces through part of that time, through 2 years of that time I had braces. I was going through appointments for my back. My spine was curving like an S shape, backward S shape, behind the shoulder blade and the other way, and so my body was changing that way, and I knew that was different than everybody else, which it all made me feel different and isolated, and it made me believe the stuff that I'd been told at school for all that time, you know. And I won't go any further into that story yet, into my story yet, because we don't need to know my whole life story, you know. But we also don't need to know that everything in one go. But I want to say about that, those things that happened to me, yes, it made me depressed. Yes, it made me anxious. But you know what? It also made me realise the kind of person I didn't want to be. It made me kinder to people. It made me the kind person I am today. That I'm not the kind of person that wants to hurt anybody. I'm kind, I will help anybody, you know, as best I can. And I don't want to hurt anybody, and I wouldn't want to say anything to upset anybody, you know. And I moved on from that stuff. I moved on from what happened. And that stuff doesn't affect me anymore. But it did. It did for many years. It affected me. It affected me till into my 30s. Until I met my amazing coach, who taught me the ways to help to move away from that. To help to get rid of that. Because all that hurt, all that stuff, all that anger at the people that caused my life to go the way it did, that wasn't serving me, it wasn't helping me, it wasn't hurting them, but it was hurting me, you know. And that's what we need to remember, that some things like that may happen to us. It may cause us to have anxiety and depression, or whatever however it's caused you to act and to be. But it doesn't have to be that way all the time. Okay, the anxiety and depression, it's still there. It's, you know, it comes back in waves, and you know, but most of the time I am okay with who I am, and I push through it, and I fight through the anxiety, and I fight through it, and I make sure that it's not affecting me anymore, because I can't let it hold my life back, especially now because my son's watching, especially now because you guys are watching, because you guys are watching, you guys are seeing me changing, you're following my journey, you know. And I've gone from there to where I am now, to the confident person I am, to doing videos and pictures and going to the shop and the park. I'm alone with my son, or alone in general, you know. That is not something that I'd ever do. It was something that even last year, even last summer, I struggled with. Okay, I didn't have to have someone with me all the time, but I've gone out more this summer on my own with just me and my son than I did last summer, because I was scared, because I was still scared, because I still let the anxiety get to me, you know. So we're all still changing. We may all still be having things from the past causing us to have limiting beliefs of ourselves, of what we're capable of who we are, is causing us to talk badly about ourselves, to say things to ourselves that may have been said to us in the past, that we've taken on our own, that maybe you're saying stuff to yourself that has so much worse than anything and anybody ever said to you, because that was me. Those things that they said to me had nothing on what I was telling myself. Nothing. But I'm no longer telling myself those things. I have a few occasions where I think I'm fat or whatever, but most of the time I don't. Most of the time I'm completely fine with how I look, with who I am. Because it's not about looks, it's not about how your body looks, it's not about the size of you, it's not about how crooked your teeth are or how straight your teeth are, or whether one eye is different than the other, or whether you wear glasses or not, or what hair colour is. You know, none of that matters. None of that matters. What matters is what's inside you, inside your heart. What matters is inside here. And how you feel, how you talk to yourself, how you think. It's how you feel about yourself. Once you start sorting that out, the outside doesn't matter so much. The outside is just the outside. That's going to change anyway, you know? That's going to change anyway. We all get older, we all change as we grow. We all do. But what we need to focus on right now is our minds. Think on what's on the inside. Focus on what your mind and what's on the inside. Focus on those thoughts. Make them positive. Push away the negative stuff. Make them positive. Think good. Think affirmations. Say affirmations. Write them down. You know, push yourself out of them comfort zones and push yourself further than you ever thought possible. And you will get there. I promise you will get there. So thank you for watching, and I hope this helped. I hope you have the most amazing day. Bye.